Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Speedrun Insider. I'm your host, CJitsallGewd. Thank you so much for joining us this week. It's 2021 now, which is crazy to think because I do record some of these ahead of time. It is now, in fact, 2021. One of the goals for 2021 was I wanted to have more representation on the podcast in an effort to be more inclusive. My directive for Speedrun Insider for 2021, just be more inclusive. I want more women on the show. I want more LGBTQ people on the show. I want more people of color, minorities. I want everybody on the show. I want everyone to come on the show. I want everyone to feel comfortable telling their story. We're starting with AnimatedElf, who I'm going to give an intro to in a second. She's a friend of mine, so you're going to look at her speedrun profile, and you're going to be like, damn, she did like a run of Hades a week ago. And I'm going to say that is entirely correct, except it won't be a week ago because who knows when this is coming out. Not to peel back the curtain too far. So usually I give people, I know you're sniggering. So I usually give people these really fantastic intros. And then afterwards, everyone goes, oh my God, CJ, that was such a great intro. Like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's great, what a great epithet. So here's your intro, Grace. She's the meme queen. She's the consumer of White Claw, doer of puzzles, and she has 13 cats. This is AnimatedElf. I'm going to call her Grace. You should too. How are you doing, Grace?
I'm alive.
You're alive. That's right.
Yeah, I've run out of White Claw, unfortunately.
So I thought, we'll do the serious part first, right?
Yes.
Then, because there's only going to be so much serious podcast stuff that we're going to talk about, then we can smoothly transition into GDQ, romper room, charades, and escapades.
Perfect. Sounds wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so before we get into all that, that's a teaser. That's what we in the biz call a stick around after the commercial break, except the program is not a commercial break. You should listen to this part as well.
No, I mean, YouTube will just put a commercial in for you, whether you want it or not.
Introducing Ridge Wallet. No, sorry. Ridge Wallet does not sponsor this show. So you actually do have a really heartfelt and interesting connection to speedrunning, one that you've told me in the past. So I was wondering if you could tell it again. What was your gateway into speedrunning, how you discovered it, how you got involved?
So my introduction to speedrunning was actually kind of weird. I didn't know it existed until I worked for a Super Smash Brothers tournament. So several years ago, back in 2015, I believe would have been when all of this started. Yeah, 2015-ish. There was an event out in Orlando, Florida, that was run by my college and a college club that I was a part of called Smash the Record. Some people might be familiar with it, some people might not be. The purpose of Smash the Record was it was initially a singular charity marathon stream sort of thing where we had Gatsu, a professional Melee player on stream, breaking a world record. So, like, we had the Guinness Book of World Records guys out there. It's completely recorded, all that. So that first year, we did that stream, raised some money for charity, made about just over $10,000. It was super, super cool for, like 5 college kids in a corner putting it together. Well, apparently it went over so well that UCF and some other organizations offered to help us keep it going. And we brought it back again for 2 more years in a row. So the second year in 2016, we decided to invite a couple of other people. It was still at that point fairly Smash centric, but we did have a couple of speedrunners show up, people that shared the scene. So it was in 2016 that I actually met Fuzziness, who's a Melee player and a speedrunner, and he introduced me to speedrunning and all of that and said, hey, you should come to AGDQ. So I went to AGDQ, and that's where I met Quo. And me and Quo have been decent friends since then. I might have ghosted him for 4 years on accident without really meaning to, because I ghosted literally everyone in my life.
Well, for those of you who keep up with us and not necessarily Grace's social life, you'll remember that Quo was a guest on the very first episode of Speedrun Insider.
Yeah, the guy that runs way too many games.
Well, come on. This is the part where you're supposed to say something nice about Quo.
He is an absolutely fantastic human being who is wonderful to talk to, and I very much enjoy his friendship.
He was really, I don't know if people understand this about Quo, but he's a little short. But what he lacks in stature, he makes up for in musculature. Because
Yeah,
his
he is kind of
calves,
buff.
yeah, it's like kind of ridiculous. Like we're not talking like sideshow circus carnival, pay 50 cents for a ticket to see Jojo the dog face boy. You know, he's not that short. He's normal. He's like five. He's like
He's
5.
5'4".
Yeah.
He's 5'4". I know how tall he is.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. So it's like normal sized lady height, right? And he's kind of ripped. And he's really good at swimming. And he's
Yeah.
a lifeguard.
Yeah.
I mean,
And he worked
like,
for the Canadian government.
yeah, like totally. Like, if like I don't know if we're like building his Tinder profile for him right now or not, but
I love Quo. Quo is really, at the end of the day, one of my
you
best
have to
friends.
stop giggle snorting before you can start complimenting him again.
I'm not giggle snorting anymore.
You can't be like, yeah, exactly.
All right. Anyway,
It's gonna take till 2 fucking hours. Good.
So it's fine. So AGDQ 2016. I drove all the way up to Virginia. Hung out with a bunch of the SM64 runners at the time. So like I was hanging out with like Simply and Simply Punk Asian and Cheese, because that happened to be like the group that I was introduced to first. But while I was there, I met a handful of other people, like Thiefbug and Drast, I believe, was one of them. Lord Mao. But Quo was the one that I ended up talking to the most, and I still like kind of like kept in touch with. So ever since then, I kind of fell into the speedrunning community. And GDQ specifically, because I didn't realize there were a lot of other marathons besides GDQ for a while, was kind of like what kept me sane through like 4 really, really, really terrible years of my life, like the peak of my depression, peak of my anxiety, all of that. And through all that, I just kind of kept watching GDQ, kept watching all of the speedruns and stuff, keeping up on Twitter with some things. Quo will say I ghosted him. It's more accurate to say I just ghosted absolutely everyone and stalked everyone on Twitter and did not actually interact because I was terrified they all hated me.
Okay.
You can leave that in. Because that's true. My anxiety. You
had your reasons. You had a reason. Sure.
My anxiety is terrible. Okay. So come AGDQ 2020, which GDQ decided to announce that they were going to be hosting in Florida. Which, for those that obviously most of the people listening to this don't know, I am a Florida native, and I was only about 35 to 45 minutes away from where GDQ is being held.
Doxed.
So I finally go, okay, this is my chance. It's close by. I don't have to travel very far. I can get back into contact with all of those people that I lost contact with and I missed. So I spammed the ever-loving shit out of Quo on Twitter. Found out what everybody's plans were, and spent that entire week hanging out at GDQ, which is where I happened to meet CJ.
This is true.
Yes.
I want to jump in here because I'm going to tell my part of the story.
Go for it.
I'm going to tell you my part of the story of how I met Grace.
I passed out in your bed with a White Claw in my hand.
No, that was before. I met you before that. That didn't happen. I knew you when you did that. All right.
Yeah,
I want to make that abundantly clear.
That was about 5 days later.
There was also a bunch of other people in that room. You fell asleep in the other bed.
Or was it in Cece's? I think I slept.
No,
I think
you
it was
fell. You passed out in my bed.
Oh, was it the bed? Your bed? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you passed. No, but Mike was sleeping in it, so you slept in Mike's bed.
Correct. Right. Okay, that's what it was.
So we're going. It's like I don't remember. Okay, here's the thing about GDQ for those people that haven't been to one or they don't really understand, because I do get messages from people that are like, man, one day I'm going to go to a GDQ. And there's a few things that people don't really understand. We can talk about that later. But the one thing that always happens is that at some point you have to eat. The hotel makes gamer food and gamer drinks, which in Florida was like Pokemon shots and walking tacos in Dorito bags. So after you've done that for like whatever, and you've eaten stick cheese and fun dip for like 3 or 4 days, then you realize that you're an adult. You eventually have to go out and leave the hotel and look for food. I try my damnedest to try and eat every night. And I try and eat something different every night. It doesn't always work because otherwise you just die because you're drinking and you're just dying because you're not putting any food in your body. So we're going to IHOP. We're gonna go to IHOP, and Quo goes, "Hey, I may have someone that's gonna come to us to IHOP." And I was like, "Cool. Where are they? Let's go to IHOP." And he's like, "Okay, she's not here yet." This is my best Quo impression. I don't know why I'm doing Quo impression.
It's pretty
So,
good.
she's not here yet. And I'm like, "Well, where is she?" She's like, she's driving. Okay, I'm gonna stop with the Quo impression, but she's driving. Okay. So we waited, and then we're like, "Is she coming at all?" And he's like, "She said that she's driving and it's after work and there's traffic and blah blah." So we're halfway in the parking lot, and then he goes, "Okay, she's here." And so we're behind this, like, I forget what it was. It was like the Japanese steakhouse.
Hmm.
And you show up in the parking lot, and I'm like, "Okay, let's go." And we wouldn't leave. We were like, me and Cece were like trying to get everybody to move to the IHOP because we're going to the IHOP that's down the road. And so we left you guys, and then you guys were like, "We have to park our car." So I was like, "Okay, we'll start walking." And we thought you were gonna drive. So then you guys didn't drive to the ghetto IHOP. You walked. And then most of us hitched a we met a random dude that night. So then we had to walk back. We had to walk back. That was not the night. There was another night we met someone at the IHOP, and then we hung out with him all night. He was at the event for Smash stuff. And then we just hung out with him for the rest of the night. Never saw him again. But anyway, so then we walked back, and I'm like, "Man, who the hell is this?" But that was the night that Matt tried to get the kids waffle.
This. I remember him ordering that and them just being like, "No."
Yeah. So we had a friend named Matt, aged whale, and he's from Philly, and he orders the waffle that has like he's like, can I have the waffle? I'll pay like full price for it, but can I have the waffle that has the smiley face on it and the whipped cream and the strawberries?" And the guy, like, everyone in that place was stoned or whatever, and the waiter looks at him and is like, "Oh, we can only do that if you're like really sick." I was like, just pay for the damn waffle, Matt. Like, come on. It's a
He
waffle.
just wanted kids awful. Oh,
Yeah.
I found it. The ETA with traffic and everything. I just scrolled up in my DMs to see if I could find it. It was an hour and 45 minutes when I left. And then when I sent Quo the second screenshot, it was 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Ah, God. This was like when Mike was coming to SGDQ 2019, and he was driving up with Penguin, and he was like, we're almost there, gamer. We're almost there." And I'm like, "Mike, you're nowhere near close." He goes, we're leaving the state, gamer." I'm like, "You're in Missouri."
You have to understand, dude. So anytime you drive anywhere from Florida, getting out of Florida is half the drive. Like when I go anywhere, it takes 6 hours to get out of Florida. To go to Minnesota, it would take over 6 hours to still get out of Florida.
Yeah, I get that part, but you're not halfway once you leave Missouri. It's
I
like,
think you are actually.
hang on, sorry, you're not almost there once you leave Missouri. This is not a
Oh yeah,
geography
that's right.
podcast.
Anyway,
We already are so fucking far off the rails.
we're talking about Mike.
Okay, we're having a serious no, stop. We're gonna get back to Mike. Okay, so you go to your first AGDQ, you ghost everybody.
I ghost
Then you
everybody.
show up at AGDQ 2020. So
I reconnect
how?
with Quo and you guys, and yeah, Quo introduces me to you guys, and now you can't get fucking rid of me.
Well, who's trying to get rid of you?
Nobody, because I'm
That
wonderful.
yeah, yeah. That's your anxiety talking. You're like, everyone's trying to get rid of me.
Hey man, I take meds
Ugh.
for that now.
Hey, there we go. Hey, shout out to mental health awareness. So do I.
Yep, but so I finally reconnect with Quo and them, and he introduces me to CJ and CC, and I start hanging out with them. And honestly, like you guys have been a lifesaver for this pandemic. Like you have kept me sane through um the probably some of the worst time of my life, just in terms of job security and stuff, because y'all were the people that were there for me through the furlough, letting me help with your marathons and your various other stuff, and just hanging out with me in general. So.
You definitely phrased this to me in a very like positive manner. You let me help with your marathon. I don't think SStat would have been possible without you and all the other volunteers who
Yeah.
we needed. I mean, we
Well,
really needed more volunteers than we had, unfortunately.
yeah. I mean, it's like the same thing, like with like for Aid, which was the first one I worked with you guys on,
Oh
or I worked
Christ,
with
yeah.
Quo on, uh, with the I don't remember what happened, but I remember like Quo messaging me like 2 weeks before, and something had gone wrong with like the graphics. So I made all of the Aid graphics over the course of those 2 weeks, just kind of like in a call with Quo.
All right, I want to bring this up because I made the original Aid graphic, the like crayon type thing.
Yeah, and I'm the one that turned it into a background.
This is true. Here's the thing. Quo did this to me twice. He did this to me with Aid. Oh, now we're talking shit about Quo. He did
Oh,
this to me
wonderful.
with Aid, and he did this to me with Speed Doxathon. He's like, hey, make a graphic and make it look aesthetic. And I'm like, okay, great direction. So I make something that looks good and I give it to him, and he's like, this is not pixel perfect. This is not accurate down to the inch. This is not good for a marathon. I said, you just told me to make something that looked pretty. I did. What do you mean it needs to be all these other things?
But you know, like so it was I turned the thing you made into like the big background that we had for
You're
Aid,
supposed to
and then
laugh. Grace, you're
chopped
supposed to
up. I
laugh.
did. I
No, you
giggled.
didn't.
Oh, did it not pick up on the mic?
No, it doesn't register.
Ha ha
Your
ha ha
your laugh could fucking break the sound barrier. Don't fake laugh to me. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was expecting at the end of my bit. That's what I was expecting. This is awful. We're gonna put this out for patrons as an extra.
Good.
All right. So
Make them
after
pay for me.
okay, so talk to me about Aid. What do you remember about Aid? Tell
We were
people what
raising.
Aid is, and then yeah.
So Aid was a GoFundMe and speedrunning marathon set up by CJ and Quo to help our friend Erica out with her medical bills because her back is destroyed. And that's expensive in the United States. So we were trying to raise some money to help her get her next, like, pay for some pain meds and then get her, what was it, a surgery that disc replacement or something? I can't remember the
Yes,
exact
I
surgery. Yeah.
believe the money was to pay for the bills that she had accrued from the surgery that didn't work.
Work. Yeah, that's what it was. It was to pay for the surgery that didn't work, and then she was on like a bone treatment that was running her like
Yeah.
300 plus a month. So we
I'm
were giving her a
yeah.
little bit for that too.
I think that people really don't understand how much like having a back issue is very expensive. Like there's some very expensive injuries to have, obviously. Um
Hmm.
like my nephew just tore his ACL. He's
Oh
not going to be
God.
playing baseball anytime soon, but he's walking around, you know. Not just tore his ACL, he tore it a few months ago, but he's walking around now. It'll be a while before he trusts it again like he did before. But a back injury, your back is your whole life, man. I mean,
Hmm.
make whatever jokes you want, because then you can't walk. So now you got to find a way to get around. Either that's the crutches, which you think, oh, any old crutch will do. No, got to have a prescription for them.
If they're not the right size, it'll rip
Yeah.
your shoulders out of socket.
Yeah. Also, all of these things, the roll a bit, the wheelchair, they all cause your muscles to atrophy. So you got to have you got to be careful about how you use and overuse that kind of stuff. And if you live in a state with an opioid pandemic, they might not prescribe pain medicine to you. That might just be something that they're like not doing because people are getting high, right? So also, I also want to just clarify. I don't think the answer to the opioid crisis is just overprescribing. I don't think you should overprescribe opioids, but I see my friend and how much pain she's in, and I'm like, man, it sucks. I wish that there was a pill, a pill that got rid of the pain. And oh wait, there is such a thing that does that. Oh yes, of course. So that's my frustration. But you did NASA stuff too. So you did ICAAID.
And from ICAAID, I got introduced to the NASA guys, and I started helping them out with their channel
I'm
and
so
stuff.
sorry for you.
I mean, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. ICAAID is what introduced me to Dale Duck, who is now like my best friend in the whole world. Like, come on.
Yeah, true. There you got Dale Duck. I like Dale.
I love Dale.
I'm not saying that everyone in NASA is bad. I'm not saying that at all. I had Aries on the show. I love Aries.
Yeah, Aries is great.
But man, you guys become the meme echo chamber when enough of you get in the room. It's like infinite reflection.
Yeah, for some of them, yeah, definitely. I don't know. Me and Dale just keep sending each other this one picture that says Steve on it.
Why? What is
I don't know.
What is the etymology of this picture?
I think we found a meme that made fun of Zoomer humor versus millennial humor.
Okay.
So it was it was just like millennial humor, and it was like this like nihilistic meme with way too much text on it, and then it was like Zoomer humor, and it was this picture of just like this dog that was like vapor waved out, and it just said Steve. So we just send the Steve half to people to each other.
That's something else. All right.
Yeah, that's like it was just a stupid meme we found. Like it's about how life goes, man. What was the one from today? I think there was one from today that just says George.
Okay. Well, this is great for an audio only podcast.
Yeah.
Talk to me. What is your favorite memory from all the marathons that you've helped out on? What are some of your favorite memories?
Man, I thought you had enough people for this.
Okay, that was really funny, and I was there for that. I did not help at that NASA at all. I was playing. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna set the scene, and then you can tell the story. I don't know what marathon it was, but NASA is really great. They help a lot of people do their marathons. They host a lot of marathons on their channel, and it had to be. It might have been ARPG.
I think it was ARPG Me.
Yeah, I think it was ARPG Me, and because these runs were very long, basically you had like a side group that was like you had one person watching the run, everyone else was playing Jackbox. So they added me and they were like, Jackbox? So I said, sure, I'll come hang out and play Jackbox. So I came in and Quo was there, and that's when what happened was.
Okay, so what had happened was we had a runner that we featured in our ARPG Me. And no, don't get me wrong, the guy was actually like super sweet, really chill. His run was really cool. I really enjoyed watching it.
But
poor guy, I don't think he'd ever used a computer before. Or at least he'd never used a computer to stream. So me and Rod G were having to sit there with him and handhold him through every single step of setting up OBS. Like, I'm pretty sure Rod had to teach the guy how to open up Task Manager because something froze on his computer. Like, poor kid had no idea how to use a computer at all. So we get through all of this, and his run is like a half hour behind because it genuinely just took me and Rod almost an hour and a half to set this kid up. And I don't know what possessed him. I don't know why he did it, but just in a room with all of the rest of the staffers. There's like 6 of us in this room trying to get this run ready to go and make sure the graphics are perfect and everything. And he just goes, man, I thought you guys said you had enough people to handle this.
So
and
the
we
guy,
just stopped. And I'm like, anyway, so I think you're ready to go.
that guy, so the story, as I remember it, that guy had only ever streamed from his PS4.
Correct. He'd only ever streamed from his PS4, and he got a computer to start streaming for marathons because he didn't know if we would have the capability of handling the PS4 stream. I talked to him afterwards about it. Like I said, dude's sweet. I actually liked talking to him. He was a good person, but man, that one line is like stuck in our heads forever because when he said it, we all lost our fucking minds.
That was the answer to every single prompt in Jackbox
for the
rest of the day. Yeah, for the next like 3 days. Definitely that day. But then
that Jackbox is also what spawned Imagine playing Drakengard.
Yeah, that was. I was there for that too, I think.
Yes.
That was a very eventful game. Later in that night, y'all played bracketeering. I didn't know a single person except for you. Yes. I didn't know one person. And
because you ended up in a game with me and my real life friends.
Yeah, it was super weird. And I'm like, I don't, and you guys are making Drakengard jokes. I don't know what any of this stuff is. And like, it was so weird because like when you
were in the near Discord. That would have been.
I thought it was NASA that night.
Yeah, but if it was
the one where I met, it was where I met Friendship Cannon.
Yeah, so I was gonna say if it was the overnight crew, that would have been me, Friendship Cannon, Dale Duck, and Mash, and we're all near runners.
Yeah, so there was more. There was enough people that we could only play bracketeering, right?
Yep.
And so all the answers were bracketeering, and I'm not gonna say.
Objects.
I'm not gonna say what my answer was. Actually, I am. And JR, you can bleep it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
This is how I met Friendship Cannon. I'd never met him before in my life, and then after I heard his voice, I was like, "Oh, we need to get him for the Speed Doc show." Mm-hmm. My answer was, "Everything is if you're brave enough."
Yes.
See, you didn't give it enough reaction, so now we have to cut that whole bit.
No, that is the reaction that
you were like, nice.
Yep, nice. Because that's all I ever have for stuff like that. Because it's like, I'm not gonna burst out laughing at that. I have this small, refined part of my heart that goes, nice.
You're like that fucking Zach Galifianakis meme. Is the rest of your heart like?
Well, yeah, obviously that's where all the peppermint goes. I'm on my 4th candy cane of the show.
What the fuck? Wait. Hang on. Now we're too deep into it. Now we can't cut out. Hang on. Why are you eating so many peppermint candy canes?
Because I like candy canes. That's actually genuinely the answer. Is just I like candy canes. I'm that freak.
Do you just suffer all year? You don't have candy canes?
Peppermint clears the sinuses.
No, I'm saying, do you suffer because you can't get candy canes in like August?
Oh no, I just buy like 10 boxes of them and store them in the pantry.
How many of them come in a box? You already eat 4.
I get the little tiny mini ones that are like 100 to a box.
Oh, Jesus! You buy 1,000 candy canes at a clip? I wonder your shoes have holes in them.
My shoes have holes in them because I have a really bad habit of perpetually walking on my heels.
Did you ever replace those shoes?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
I got new ones when I went to visit Dale.
There's a lot to unpack here. Okay. Tell me something else from a marathon that you really liked.
Me and Dale had a shit ton of fun at SDAT with our Miku thing. The Miku
the thing the thing that didn't work.
It worked.
The VOD didn't work.
Yes, the VOD didn't work, but it worked. Well, so oh god, I mix them up because we've now done it at 2 marathons. What marathon was it where everything decided to light itself on fire overnight, where we had 2 runners drop?
Oh, and the one where 2 people dropped, back-to-back runs overnight?
Yes.
That was
that
SStat. That was night
SStat?
1 of SStat, yeah.
Yeah,
2
because and me
people
and
with
Dale
less than 6 hours notice just
dropped.
dropped out, yeah.
So me and Dale were set to be the restreamer and such at the time. So we just look at CJ and go, we can make it Weeb Hour. And CJ went, what? We're like, we'll make it Weeb Hour. So me and CJ for 4.5 hours
You
from
and
about,
Dale.
yeah, I'm sorry, me and Dale for about 4.5 hours go, don't worry, CJ, we've got this. Played,
Didn't the run after not show up either?
yes.
Oh
So in that slot, I think we had Onichan Baro run by Mash. Because Mash was
oh,
just
right. He showed up.
Mash showed up to do his restream shift, and then the other runner didn't show up, and me and Dale are like,
Oh, no. That was, so Mash did that another day. Edom
yeah,
showed up.
yeah. Edom showed up and did a run for us to cover the second half of that section.
God.
But for that first 4 hours until Edom was awake and ready to go, me and Dale were just sitting there at like 4 a.m. playing Project Diva on stream.
As the
And just
computer melted.
yeah, so in this entire time, the actual restreaming computer is like melting. So me and Dale pulled the stream from the restream computer, set up the restream physically on Dale's computer. So we were restreaming SDAT, not from the original computer, but from Dale's computer, playing Project Diva while Ares ripped his hair out trying to fix the actual restreaming PC.
I love everybody at NASA, and I'm going to say this with love, because I don't know those crazy guys at all whatsoever. I couldn't pick those crazy guys. Those crazy guys is the name of one human.
Yes.
I couldn't pick those crazy guys out of a lineup. But when we were learning how to do restreaming for SStat, our teacher was Rod G.
I love Rod, okay?
So I love Rod. I really do. So Rod is teaching us how to do it. And he's like, okay, you can do this, but it's probably not going to be a problem. Just don't do that because it could break it. And then he's like, oh, and this shouldn't break anything at all, but do this. And he does it and everything broke. We took down the name. I'm not going to say the name of the computer. We took down the restreaming PC. And me and CC are in a call like, what? Like, I'm like, what did you do, CC? And Rod's like, wait, what? And then he's like trying to do anything. He's like, oh, this thing is like super fucked. And so we found out.
It was a memory leak.
No, that was NASA. That was like NASA proper.
Oh, yeah.
That's a different story. But at during this training session, apparently the outlet that it was plugged into turns out there's a switch that turns the power off on that wall in those crazy guys' apartment. So the guy turned the light off and everything on that wall turned off.
I didn't know that's why that melted.
During the training thing, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, we broke it. It's over. We're going to hell. They're not going to let us use it. And then it's like, oh, we got a text. And it was like, oh, hey, sorry, I turned the light off or whatever. I don't know if it was actually explicitly that, but I've always imagined like it was in the bathroom. The guy turned the light off in the bathroom. He's like, oops, forgot about that.
But yeah, so anyway, Restream PC is like having a full-blown meltdown. Dark Aries is on it. At some point, I think Dark Aries managed to get Rod up at like 4:30 in the morning, and both of them are now on it. And me and Dale are just like listening to this in the background, like in the muted mumble, so you guys couldn't hear, so no one could hear it on the stream. Listening to them losing their fucking mind over this, and we're just sitting there going, "And this is Levin Polka."
You guys raised money for that too. You did song requests. I woke up and we raised money.
$500.
Yeah. I woke up and we raised money and none of the nighttime runs showed up.
Hey man, the power of Diva, dude.
My rule for DGen hour / polka time / whatever Dale and Grace want to do. My only rule is that I want nothing to do with it. And when I wake up, it better be over.
Yep, and that's what
Otherwise, you can do whatever you want.
We fixed it. The computer got fixed. We switched it back.
You did. You guys solved the problem. Everybody, great work on that. Especially Aries and Rod. And Dale and Grace.
I did. It was pretty fantastic, but that was a lot of That was the most stressful fun I've ever had, because it was like we're sitting over there going, "Oh God, is it gonna break? Oh God, is it gonna break? Oh God, is it gonna break?" And then at the same time, it's just like, "Oh, okay, cool, we're vibing, Miku,
Estat
Miku."
was the same event that someone, I don't know how this happened. Someone said I didn't have any rhythm.
No. Estat was also where I made a joke about when we were trying to keep the donation incentives going. I made a joke about me and Dale teaching you how to play a rhythm game, and then someone turned that into Big Law is teaching you how to play a rhythm game.
Yes.
And we still have no clue how Big Law got involved.
So he was the host at the time.
Okay.
I will tell you who did it. So that guy did it.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
He was he was technically the restreamer at the time, so he updated the incentive.
Instead of to me and Dale teaching you to Big Law teaching you.
Yes.
So anyway,
So
the long
yeah.
story short is now CJ and Big Law both have to learn how to play Miku Megamix and do a stream together on it.
Okay.
And Big Law does not want to do it.
I don't know if Big Law doesn't want to do it. Big Law's not thrilled about it. Big Law only knows one rhythm game, and that's Clone Hero. But this was also, we made the stretch goal before the DMCA stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
So playing Foreigner on Guitar Hero is not going to fly now. So we're trying Miku, and I'm going to be doing it soon. I'm guessing Big Law will come, make an appearance, and then you and Dale will take over. Like, I'm guessing that's what we're doing.
Probably what's gonna happen. But it was just like, I just love how it's like I'm sitting there and Big Law's like, when did I say I would do this? And I'm like, I don't know. I said I was gonna do it. But I guess it's you now.
Someone timed him out when he was the host.
Yeah, that happened too.
I was like, what is wrong with you people? It takes a stupid amount of channel points to time someone out. I'm like, what is wrong with you? He's the goddamn host.
Poor Big Law. We were really mean to him on his birthday. It's always Big Law's birthday.
Happy birthday, Big Law.
Happy
we love you.
Big Law, we love you.
Big Law will not listen to this, but Big Law, if you're listening, we love you.
I want somebody to take just that audio clip right there of both of us just saying happy birthday, Big Law, and send it to him.
There we go. I'll just send it to him it'll be like Zoomer humor. We'll send it to him every single day except for his birthday.
Exactly.
There we go. That's Zoomer humor.
Were you watching GDQ during his thug run?
I did.
And they were just like, happy birthday, Big Law. And he's just sitting there like, you could see the existential dread in his face when the first happy birthday, Big Law happened.
He was, first of all, great run.
It was a wonderful run.
I had been watching him stream because he'd gotten some really, really close attempts. And he just got like a big PB not the other day. So great. Congratulations to Big Law.
Yeah.
Where we do not meme him on this podcast. We do not meme him on this program. We love you, Big Law.
We do love Big Law. Big Law's a good guy.
We've talked about events. We talked about briefly how you tie into speedrunning. Now we're going to talk about your one speedrun.
I technically have two.
It's the same game.
No, it's not.
It's Hades.
I have a time in Nier Automata.
It's not on the leaderboard.
Oh, yeah, no, because Rod refuses to fucking go verify it.
Well, then you don't have a time on the leaderboard, do you?
I am technically, for those listening, I want to say I am technically 12th on the Nier Automata leaderboard for mackerel percent.
Okay, hang on. Explain to the people what mackerel percent is, and then explain to the people what you did at Speed.done.
No, that was a decade.
No, the big one.
Oh, yes. Yes. That.
Oh, yeah, I didn't forget. Go
Okay,
ahead.
So, mackerel percent is a kind of a meme category in the Nier Automata community. So, there is a ending K. It's ending K in Nier Automata. So, ending K is basically you catch a fish, you eat the fish, you die. So, there are ways in Nier Automata, many ways to break the game. So, basically, before you even fight the first boss, you just kind of leave the build, like you just break out through a wall and leave the building and you go over to a pond where you can catch a mackerel, because it's specifically a mackerel. You have to eat a mackerel. So you break out and you run over, and once you get to the area, you fish up a mackerel, you eat the mackerel, and time is when the screen shows up saying you got K ending. So the speed run is like, I think world record for this speed run right now is like 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Like, it's not long. So at AnimatedElf, one of the overnight CJ doesn't want to touch it jokes, it was actually Quo doesn't want to touch it, was Rod G and Dale Duck taught me how to play near Automata, and then Rod taught me mackerel percent, and I did a run of mackerel percent, and that was like our overnight fun moment. So that mackerel percent run then evolved into a long series of jokes about near Automata fishing percent, which we have now turned into me and a couple of the other guys in the Automata community. For ARPG Me is the first time it happened, I believe. We did a fishing relay where the first one was 2 teams of 3. Yeah, it was 2 teams of 3 at ARPG Me. And our goal was basically, as a team of 3, complete near Automata fishing percent. So we had like a tracker to see what fish everybody on the team had caught, and we had to catch all the fish in near Automata between the 3 of us. And the first team to finish got to, like, first team to finish called time, and then moved on. So we go, how can we make this worse, and how can we make it CJ's problem? So we then submit that run again to CJ, but this time not with 6 runners, but with 9.
Yeah, that was patently awful.
It was
So
fun
I
as hell.
remember. I'm gonna jump in now because this was my nightmare. Because even though I have nothing to do with this, I had to do plenty with this beforehand. So, as it was my job, I had to make all the little graphic things for Ares to make into layouts and such. And so I said, okay, uh, originally, Friendship Cannon was the one that submitted it, right? And then he didn't end up being in it. So then you guys invite me to a group chat, and then you invite me to the near Discord because we exceeded the limit for people that could be in a group chat. So we have a secret fishing channel, and we're starting to add people in and blah, blah. And now I'm scheduling a marathon. I'm running an event. I'm trying to raise money for charity. And I shit you not, I'm not going to out anybody, but I shit you not, people were like, I can only be on during 5 o'clock Eastern time. That's it. I said, I'm not putting this on in prime fucking time. I'm not putting this on at 5 o'clock on a Friday night. Like, I'm sorry. And then one dude was like, okay, well, that's the only time I can do it, and then left. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Not only do you guys want to run a meme category, 9 of you want to do it all at once, and you want to do it in prime time. So eventually I was like, okay, 4 a.m. And people were like, no, can't do 4 a.m. Can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. Also, I just want to throw this out there. They couldn't give me an accurate estimate. They gave me a range. Because like, it could be done in 5 minutes, technically. I said, oh my God. It's the worst.
Yeah, that's about how near Automata goes.
You guys are actually the worst. Then you guys said, we are going to make our own layout. And the plan was to make a website.
It was Rod G. I'll out him. It was Rod G. Rod G said he would make this super cool layout where we were like restreaming from like certain stuff on his PC because his PC is powerful and we don't like crash the stream PC, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then he got that working, like the whole like restreaming 9 streams to 1 stream thing. He got that working, but he never made the layout. So this ends with me, Quo, and I think maybe CJ?
Not me.
Not you. I think it was me and Quo. Me, Quo, and somebody else in Discord with me streaming my Photoshop, making a layout an hour and a half before the run started.
I wanted nothing to do with anything you guys were doing.
So I made the entire layout for that run an hour and a half before the run started. and goddamn did it look good.
It did look good. It was also 9 people.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty hysterical.
Someone joked afterwards, like, "Oh, for us that too, we're gonna have to have 12." I'm like, "We're not doing this again."
That was a May.
You shot your shot, a May. You took your shot.
Listen, there's an entire section of the VOD of that where like people are just we realized that Amay didn't have his headphones on, so we're just activating Amay's Alexa.
Oh my god, dude.
And that was when the host was like in there with him. Quo was in there with him, and it was Quo that figured it out. So Friendship Cannon and Quo just kept going, Alexa, Alexa. And Amay's like, Alexa, stop. Trying to play the game. Alexa, stop.
Alexa, play Despacito, yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
No, Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. I activated my Alexa. God damn it. Okay.
Anyway, so
it's scary.
Nier Automata. Nier Automata's a disaster. That Discord's a fucking hellhole, and I love it. I love every second of it.
It's a good hellhole, though.
It's a good hellhole.
All right.
It's a great place. I love it is it's a meme pit. There's so many runs of that game that are just a joke.
Now talk to me, since we're talking about meme pits, talk to me about a game that's not a meme pit, Hades.
Okay, so Hades is
I'm counting this as your first official speedrun, by the way.
It's my first official one on the board, because, my macro percent run still hasn't been approved. It's been 9 months, Rod G.
Yeah, Rod G, stop being such a...
Actually, I don't even...
hang on. I can't say...
I know.
Hang on. Yeah, Rod G, stop being such a gatekeeper.
I think there was something wrong with my recording, so I have to resubmit it or something. It's somewhere. It's in the board.
Hashtag Rod G gatekeeps.
No, he doesn't. I love
2
Rod.
Gs.
Rod taught me the run.
Rod Gaga 8 keeps.
Rod gatekeeping.
Swiper, no swiping. Rod, no
swiping.
gatekeeping.
I love Rod. Again, we repeat. Rod taught me the run.
Rod is a really nice guy, and I really like him. But Rod, no gatekeeping. Okay, now talk to me about Hades.
Anyway, Hades. So Hades is a roguelike, or roguelite. I don't actually know the difference between roguelike and roguelite, but a bunch of people say there's a difference, whatever. Anyway, Hades is one of those games where you go into a dungeon, and if you die, you got to start all the way back at the beginning again. Eat shit. So it's a wonderful game from the indie developer Supergiant Games. That is very artistic and story driven. So there's a lot of stuff to it, but at the end of the day, obviously, it's a game you can go fast in. So there is a massive, when I tell you there's almost 300 people, or not 300, how many are there now? There are 170 plus active runners on our board. And the Discord has almost 300 people in it. If I remember correctly, it is currently the 4th largest game on speedrun.com in terms of volume. So
by runs or active players?
Both.
By most active, it is currently 9th on speedrun.com.
But I think by
most players
it
it's not anywhere near the top. No, you were incorrect.
Where? Hang on. It's like 3rd on...
we have to skip a page. Oh, okay, it's at the bottom of page 1. No one can do this math in their head, but it's like 37th.
I don't remember. It was like...
Hey, listen, 37 out of 17,888. That's not something to sneeze at.
There it is. It's we have 264 active players.
That's super. Talk to me about Hades, the game.
It's huge. So it's, like I said, it's a roguelike. So there are 5 different weapons and various buffs and stuff you can acquire during the runs. There is a background system that you can set up to give you various bonuses and stuff as you do it. So when you actually go to the board, there's a bunch of shit. It's a huge board. It's a huge board. So it's just a really fun roguelike game, and it's probably my game of the year. So I was spending so much time playing it that a few people, Quo and Dale and all of them, just kept going, Grace, when are you going to speedrun it? Grace, when are you going to speedrun it? Grace, when are you going to speedrun it? And I went, bet. So I joined the community, and within 2 weeks of joining the community, I had 2 runs on the board. I think God, I know I'm further back now than I was because like 50 new runs just got approved. So hang on, where am I?
No matter where you are right now, by the time this episode comes out, you will not be there either. So,
I know exactly. Um,
so you could actually fudge it. You could make it like, oh, I'm fifth right now.
right. No, only one of my runs is showing currently, but oh, that's right. I got a new PB that I haven't submitted yet. That's why I couldn't find it. So when I submitted, like, this is how many runs are getting submitted and how often they're getting submitted. When I submitted my run less than a week ago, I was 104th place.
Oh, wow.
When it was verified 2 days later, I was 154th place. I am currently 188th.
Well,
That's how
that's
many active runners there are in this community right now, just going. And it's like when you look at the board, like it's like from like 100 to 150, people all have a time within a second of each other.
it's pretty
So it's
competitive.
yeah, it's very competitive. We joke around a lot. We have a lot of fun. Like it's a very healthy and active community. So for it being the first like speedrunning community that I've really like fully dove into, and I've got active runs and I'm actively working to improve and stuff and learn multiple categories and stuff for, it's probably one of the best. Like I if anybody wants to run Hades, like message me, hit me up, like I'll get you in the Discord. It's great. Do it. Just join it. It's so worth it. And if you want to just play it casually, game of the year.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a roguelike dungeon crawler, so it's a lot of reaction time, picking stuff, like knowing what to build, how to build, knowing that if you're 2/3 through a run and you kind of get dicked over at the last second, okay, well, I'm not getting the boon I want, but this boon will do this, so I can just alternate my playstyle slightly and still get a good time kind of deal. So it's a lot of active reaction time, with little to no glitching. There are
Okay.
no glitches in the game. It is all strictly be good at the game gameplay.
Do you have any other plans to speedrun any other games this year?
Well, this year, I don't know. I could learn Final Fantasy 14.
You definitely do play that game enough.
um, there have been a few. I've got a couple of Fire Emblem games in my list that I kind of want to pick up and get to, but I always I start to try to learn the route for a Fire Emblem game, and then I go, but do I really want to run a Fire Emblem game because I love that series casually so much that I don't know if I want to ruin it for myself by running it as a speed run.
That's
But
fair. That's fair.
yeah, but I've got a handful of games in my thing. Maybe I'll finish learning the actual Nier Automata speed run. But it's just there's so much to do in Hades that it's like I'm probably going to be dedicating the next few months to just that and just getting good at that. But if I were, let's see, let's think. If I could learn any one game in my Steam, let's see. Ooh, I could just do the cool thing and run the other Supergiant games.
What's that?
Supergiant Games is who made Hades. They're
Mm.
also responsible for Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre, all of which
Ooh,
have
you could run the
speedruns.
quadfecta.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I could do the quad and do all of their games. See, what else do I have in here that's a kind of a cool speed run?
People like Bastion.
Bastion's cool. Bastion's got a dope soundtrack. If anybody wants to listen to good video game music, anything made by Darren Korb. I'm going to.
Yes. You had a little bit of a meltdown the other day when we were talking about him.
I love Darren Korb.
You were very into it, yes, as I seem to recall.
Yeah, he is fantastic. He is the music director for Supergiant Games. He's done all 4 of their games as soundtracks, and they're so. I could maybe I could learn Ori and the Blind Forest finally. I've been thinking about doing that one for a while, but it's really hard.
Well, you have your options open, you know? You have
Yeah,
options in front of you.
I have. How many games do I have? I have 177 games on Steam I can probably pick from. I'll find something. My goal is to have at least 1 to 2 more games under my belt before the end of the year. If Dale gets his way, I'm gonna learn Yakuza, but here we are.
And then there's always Pokemon Snap.
If you guys want to get me the N64, I'll do it.
You should think twice about challenging me to buy you something because I've proven you wrong time and time again.
I shouldn't have said that.
Yes, you have. All right. Well, thank you so much. We're gonna wrap up. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up the show?
No, I'm just happy that I was able to be a part of your show here and give some insight from somebody who's newer to the speedrunning community and doesn't have like 20 odd games under their belt. So it's like, this is my introduction. This is how I've gotten here. And it's like cool to just know that this community has a reach that it does. And like, I've been around for maybe a year actively, and I've got 2 games that I know, 1 that I'm running actively, and that by the time I reach Quo's age of having been around for 17,000 years in the speedrunning community, maybe I'll know about 4, all of them Pokemon Snap.
Well, we can all dream, can't we?
Oh, Quo can dream about getting his world record back from Eric. You really think I wasn't going to make it through this entire podcast without taking at least one swipe?
Hey, listen, that's fine. I don't think if I'm gonna put my money on somebody getting their record back, it's gonna be Quo getting it back from Eric. We're talking about the Pokemon Snap 90% world record. Quo lost it in 2022. Eric gun lap, but please call him Eric. And yeah, there we go. So thank you, Grace, for being on today's show. It was a real pleasure to have you on. Obviously, you're a very lovely lady.
Thank you.
And I'd say you're welcome back anytime, but I don't think I really mean that because I don't think I can handle another hour recording with you. No offense. It would be a meme scene explosion.
We need a no, you know what you need to do? You need to do a speed run after hours where me and you just watch really shitty speed runs on YouTube while drinking and just blast
A
people.
program that you and I would certainly have fun with. But I was kidding, by the way, when I said I never wanted you back on.
I know you were.
But now I'm being serious.
Hang on a second. Are you gonna bite me again?
Is your cat gonna bite you? Don't do that. Cats have yellow fever. All right, you can follow my guest Grace /AnimatedElf on Twitter at AnimatedElf, all one word. Twitch.tv /AnimatedElf. You can find them on speedrun.com. Spoiler alert, it's AnimatedElf. I really like when people have all one handle. It makes it so much easier. Thanks, Grace, for being on again. And thank you, everybody, for listening each and every week. Your support means so much. Hopefully in 2021, we'll have more women speedrunners on the program. We'll have more diverse people on the program because I know that that's the direction that I want to take the show. And I want different voices from more people. And I want to hear more of their stories. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Ta-ta.
Yeah.